Mayibuye Consultation Process leader Floyd Shivambu met with community members and other stakeholders in KwaZulu-Natal as part of talks regarding a possibility of a new political party. Shivambu says after consultations have concluded, they will start writing the documents of Afrika Mayibuye. He says the organization is aware of the challenges that confront the province of KwaZulu-Natal.
Today, it's not us who are going to give speeches and speak for a very long time. We are here to listen because in the ultimate end, the people of KwaZulu-Natal, the people of South Africa, all of them, should have contributed into the shape, the character, the nature, the form, the direction of Afrika Mayibuye movement. This is a true people's movement that must be guided and be shaped by all the people. We have not yet started writing the documents of Afrika Mayibuye, but we are going to start immediately after this consultation because all provinces would have been captured. We do not want to have afterthoughts and only want to integrate the perspectives of people only after we have started writing documents. But now we are going to start the constitution and we are going to start the founding statement, the founding document of Afrika Mayibuye. Comrades, we know all the challenges that confront the people of KwaZulu-Natal. We know that all the municipalities in this province are dysfunctional.
For more on this, we're now joined by political analyst Prof Dirk Kotzé, and he joins us now to unpack what Shivambu has been up to recently. Prof, thank you so much for your time this evening here in SABC News. Now, we do know that the former Secretary General of the MK Party, and that is Floyd Shivambu, went on a consultation process to see if whether South Africa needs another political party. But now we do know that this consultation process will now turn into a political party. Just looking at the recent reports, also talking about how Mayibuye will now also be contesting the upcoming local government elections. What do you make of another political party joining the fray in South African politics?
Yes, I think it is quite an interesting move by Floyd Shivambu. I think it was to some extent predictable when he left the MK party, or when he said that he wants to look for alternatives before he was actually expelled from the party. I think he's going to experience that there's lots of competition in the on the political side, on the spectrum, where he will compete directly, because he's now in KwaZulu-Natal. He will compete directly with the MK party. He will still compete with the ANC, with the IFP, and with even the EFF, although their support was reduced quite dramatically in KwaZulu-Natal. In other parts of the country, he will compete with also the main national parties, and that's the ANC and the DA and the IFP and the Patriotic Alliance and several others. What is even more, I would say, challenging will be for him is the fact that it is a local government election. So it means that there's going to be a proliferation of parties. There's many more parties participating in local government elections than at provincial and national elections, because it very depends on the local conditions. There are very many local parties that are only contesting in a very specific area. Some of them are even like civic associations or residents associations that convert themselves into political parties. And sometimes they are relatively successful, especially in the smaller areas, because they are very knowledgeable about the local conditions. And that's where parties like Mayibuye and others will be very difficult for them to compete there.
And Prof, I mean, looking at this consultation now wrapping up in KwaZulu-Natal, do you think that it was a strategic move for Floyd Shivambu to actually end off this consultation process in a province where he had a fallout with the MK party?
Well, I think the logic that he's using is to say that the ANC lost very significantly in KwaZulu-Natal. The MK party obviously received a lot of support there, 45%. And the same applies to neighboring provinces like the Mpumalanga also. But I think he sees that there is a type of a vacuum in KwaZulu-Natal because the ANC, the local authorities that are dominated by the ANC or the IFP, that there's a change in that province. There are new opportunities. But I think what we have seen last year with the provincial election in KwaZulu-Natal is that vacuum has actually been closed. So it is very difficult to really see that you will have opportunities in KwaZulu-Natal. But as I've said, I think they see it as there's a change. The EFF also thought so before last year's election, and in their case, they miscalculated quite a lot.
And looking at another political party coming into the fray, I mean, also how smaller parties have been performing in the past couple of elections. You know, what's the possibility of having another political party like this, a smaller one, begin to fade away when we see this in contrast to the other various political parties who have come on board?
Yes, I think Floyd Shivambu and the Mayibuye party will struggle to really get off the ground. I think, as I've said earlier on, the part in the political spectrum which is more towards the left of the center, where they will compete with the EFF and the MK and the ATM and other parties, leaves very little space for him in order to be really a party that can take up the votes that come maybe from the ANC side. So I don't think there's a real potential for him to make an impact. He will have to turn around the support that has been mobilized specifically from the MK party in provinces like KwaZulu-Natal, Mpumalanga, and Gauteng. In the other provinces, there's simply no space for him.
Yeah, and Prof, you know, one other question is, why do we continue to see, you know, various politicians who break away from their political parties begin to start their own movements? Why is this phenomenon something that has come to the fore in recent years, where, you know, like you say, that some very strong political party names or brands like Floyd Shivambu see it that they are able to lead their own political parties?
Yes, we've seen quite a number of them. Over and above what you've mentioned, Ace Magashule did the same, Musi Maimane did the same, and several others also. None of them have really launched a party of substance. And I think what Floyd Shivambu is doing is now following in that route. And I think all of them believe that they are persons with national recognition value, that people know them. And therefore, automatically, they will come over to them. But I think that's where they miscalculate, is that there is a distinction between an individual power of attraction and political parties that are more established. And it is, unfortunately, not one-man shows. And that is why many of these parties cannot get off the ground. And I fear that Floyd Shivambu is going to see that in his case, it will be exactly the same.
All right, Professor, thank you so much for your time. That's a political analyst there, Professor Dirk Kotzé, just giving us his insight in terms of this consultation process the Mayibuye movement has undertaken to see if whether South Africa is in need of a new political party. But it seems as if they will then be running in the upcoming local government elections as a political party.